Hey guys, Sticky Rice Boy is back for the second video. I'm sorry these videos aren't coming out very fast as I thought they would, but they're coming out at about one per month right now. But you never know, in the future, if I start getting donations to the channel, I could start posting every day. You never know. Definitely more often, but right now, one per month is the average right now. But it's only the second video and we're already on Mount Everest, so let's get into it. So I went to Mount Everest. I popped over to Everest, to Nepal, Kathmandu, Nepal from Thailand. I went to Bangkok for one night, slept there in a hotel, and got a nice flight real early in the morning right to Nepal from Thailand. Landed in Nepal. I wouldn't advise this, but I found some random guy on Facebook to pick me up in Nepal and get me, set up over there. It looked like he was a tour guide and everything, but, who knows? He could have just had random pictures on there and kidnapped me for all I knew. So I don't recommend people just find random people and just have them pick you up at the airport. It was kind of stupid of me, but it worked out. He picked me up at the airport. He waited a long time for me when I was going through customs over there. He waited for me. But I remember he picked me up with his buddy, and we went to the hotel. And on the way to the hotel, I thought I was getting kidnapped. It was just really sketchy. And but he got me to the hotel. Right when I got to the hotel, I'm checking into my hotel in Tamil, Nepal, and I tried the complimentary tea on the counter. And once I took a sip of that tea, I couldn't believe how good it was. I knew instantly it was the best tea I've ever had in my life, and I wouldn't have better tea than that in the future either. It was unbelievable. So Nepal is just amazing for the tea and the dumplings and the food. It's unbelievable. Oh, I love Nepal. But I get checked in there. The guy who picked me up from the airport, we're walking around. He gets me settled into my room. We immediately go out of my room and onto the street, and we change some money at the currency exchange. We get some clothing for my trip. I'm flying up to a place called Lukla, where you fly up to start the Mount Everest base camp trek. And we're getting all my clothing I'll need for the trip and stuff like that. Anything I think I'll need, packing light. And he helped me grab all that stuff at places nearby. And after he got me everything I needed to, go, for the next few days in Nepal by myself, I gave him $100 bill, and he was very happy with that for everything I asked him to do for me. He was very happy with that. And I never saw him again. And right when he turned around and walked away from me after I gave him that $100, I knew right there I was on my own. Nobody's watching my back anymore. And right away, a guy pulls up a little card right in my face and says, my friend, you want to go trekking? Do you want to go trekking? You want to go hiking? Mount Everest, blah, blah, blah. And I'm trying to tell him, no, I'm all set. And while I'm trying to tell him that I'm all set for my trip and everything, his buddy is going into my pocket and trying to get my wallet. And I have like $120 in my pocket he almost got. And right when I felt a little something, I put my hand on my pocket and I saw him take off. But he was so smooth that I kind of caught him, but I didn't catch him because he was just so quick when I turned and he turned at the same time. And he was so fast with it that I caught him, but I didn't really catch him. I only caught him like halfway. So I left that guy and started following him just to make him uncomfortable a little bit. So the guy that was trying to take my wallet, I was following him, trying to make him uncomfortable. And then I looked back at the guy that was talking to me in my face. And then when I turned back to look at the guy I'm following, he's gone. He just disappeared in like 2 seconds. And then I went back to my hotel, and I was kind of upset with everybody there. I didn't want to meet any more Nepali people. I was feeling a little angry. But then I met another guy on the street that was trying to do the same thing, selling me something, and I was giving him a lot of flack. I didn't really want to be anybody's friend anymore after that. And but it turned out he was like a really good guy, and I met his family, and we all went out and we had a great time. So I'm glad I gave him a shot because he was a very good Nepali guy. And so after that, I'm at my hotel. There's a lot of people, young like me, myself, in their 20s and 30s, doing this Mount Everest trek. And I don't know how all of us young people doing this Mount Everest trek were doing it all on the same day. I don't know how this happened, but we were all in the same hotel doing it the same day. I don't know how it happened because I just booked this myself. So a couple days later, we're getting on these really sketchy flights to Lukla, which is about 9,000 feet up, and you fly onto the mountain, an airstrip that's carved into the mountain. So you literally fly into a mountain and land, and you're in this like cute little city. And everybody I was with already had their Sherpa with them to take them to the base camp. I was by myself. I had nobody. And right when I landed, everyone was kind of crowding me, seeing what I needed. Once I said I needed a Sherpa, everyone started going nuts and like kind of raising their hand right in my face. And I picked this guy. Everyone wanted the job of like taking my bags to get me to Everest Base Camp. I picked this guy that was in the back. He was like really small guy in the back. I just picked him, and I don't know. I just liked his face or something, and he was a really good guy. I picked him, and immediately he took me into his house. Right there on the mountain. He lives on the mountain. We went into his house, and there's little kids running around. They all look like they're little like astronauts because it probably gets so cold and so hot on the mountain there. Everyone's cheeks are so red from the sun and all this stuff. It is so cool. There's like little farms up there. I felt like I was in the Lord of the Rings, the Shire or something. It was so cool. So after, we get, to talking about money, how much I'm going to pay per day and all this stuff, lodges I'm going to sleep at per night, all stuff like that. I think I agreed to pay him like $20 per day and then $5 extra for my lodging. And so it was like $25 per day plus all the food I eat. And I think he eats for free everywhere he goes because he's taking me to lodges that, he's friends with the people, so they get, a kickback for taking the tourists to certain spots on the way up. So we go up, and I'm struggling with Mount Everest real quick because I didn't have trekking poles, and I didn't think I needed them. I was in really good shape, but I don't know, my knees were just absolutely killing me. I didn't think I was going to make it at all. But once I bought trekking poles, I went to Namche Bazaar, Namche Bazaar is like on the third day that you're climbing Mount Everest. You go up there. Once you're there, it's really cool. There's like some little pool halls, a little reggae bar, some restaurants, some bakeries, a lot of lodges. It's like a really, really cool place. It is your last spot to buy any medicines or anything you need before you go higher. There's food higher, but there's no like medicines or things that you may need upstairs any higher than that. So that's all there is until you get back down. So you have to buy everything you need here. And it was really cool. You stay there for 2 days and get your head adjusted before you go higher. And, it's not a race. You go higher really slowly. After Namche Bazaar, we kept on going. This one girl I met, she was Vietnamese. She was a very, very, very slow hiker. And every time I got to the lodge, I would drop my bags and go back and help her get to the lodging area. And I would help her. And she was hiking by herself. I was hiking by myself. And she ended up teaming up with another Vietnamese guy who was hiking very fast. And he sped her up so much that she started puking from altitude sickness because she was such a slow hiker. So she had to fly in a helicopter when she was almost at Everest Base Camp. It was so sad. She didn't make it. She flew in a helicopter back to Everest Base Camp. But she had insurance, so she didn't really have to pay for that. And if that happened to me, I had no insurance. I just flew up to Lukla on the airplane and picked someone, not affiliated with any insurance company or anything, just a guy that lives on the mountain. So if I needed that, I probably would have had to pay $7,000 to $10,000 or something. So luckily, everything worked out for me. I didn't really have any problems on Everest. But what was really funny is I was just so I had a picture of my friend that I was putting on Everest Base Camp, and I get to Everest Base Camp, and I take a picture with it, with a picture of me and my friend. And I don't know, for some reason, I just wanted to leave when I got there. So I took my pictures and I wanted to get down the mountain. And I put the picture back in my bag. And I don't know why I did that. I was just kind of, I don't know. I was just, your mind plays tricks on you when you're that high up. You're not really in your right state of mind, kind of. You're so high up. So I put the picture back in my bag. When I start to leave the area, I left Everest Base Camp, and about 5 minutes after that, I realized, oh my God, I didn't leave my friend's picture there. I put it back in my backpack. So I look how far I am back. I'm about 5 to 10 minutes walk back, to the base camp. I could put it there. But then I just saw this huge rock next to me, and I slid this laminated picture of me and my friend and my friend's son of us. I slid it underneath a rock, and I heard it slide about 4 feet into the rocks, into the mountain. So later on, I was thinking about it. It's actually a really good thing that I did that, because they clear out and throw out everything that the tourists put at Everest Base Camp, so more people can come and put their stuff up there. So I'm so lucky that I did that, because they would have just took my picture and threw it out. And now I know my picture's on the mountain right next to base camp. I might be able to find it someday if I go back there and find that rock that I put it there. But all in all, unbelievable trip. It was about 8 days up and 4 days down, I believe, to do the base camp trek. I spent around $1,000. I don't know what it would be now. I did it back around 10 years ago when that huge Nepal earthquake was happening, right after it happened. And I still went through with the trip, and it was amazing. You wake up at 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning to trek, and you're so tired. But right when you get up, see the sunrise over these snow-covered mountains. It was just unbelievable, the sights I was seeing every day. So Mount Everest, probably the hardest you'll work on any trip, but extremely rewarding. The views you're going to see in the Himalayas, just stunning. It's hard to get these types of views in the world. But Mount Everest, I hope to get back there someday. One of my favorite countries. Sticky Rice Boy signing out. Hey, P.S. guys, a few things I forgot. If anyone is interested in ever doing a Mount Everest base camp trek, I have a perfect Sherpa that will get you up there and down safely. And I've already recommended him to one of my friends in Thailand, and he went there and had a successful trip. So if you need someone, I have just the right guy. He'll probably be doing carrying my bags and helping me for the next trip as well, whenever I get there. And one more tip: if you're coming down the mountain and you hit Namche Bazaar again, Namche Bazaar is the coolest place you'll see. One of the coolest places to lodge when you're going up and down Mount Everest. So when you're going down and going there, you should stay there 2 nights, even though some people will try to sleep there one night and then go a little bit lower. But the problem is, going a little bit lower, sleeping at the next spot is very boring. There's nothing there. So you might as well just stay 2 nights at Namche Bazaar and then go to Lukla on a long day the following day. So stay 2 nights at Namche Bazaar. Best thing I've ever done. I'm so happy the girl who suggested that, I went along with her suggestion, because it was a genius idea. And this last picture you're looking at right here, my buddy, who's a Nepali guy, approached me on the street, and we ended up becoming really good friends. Took him out to eat. He took me to his little village right here that I'm in. You can see it in this picture right here. He took me into his house, and his wife made me a meal. And I met his daughter right there holding the soccer ball, and she was really, shy about me being in her house and stuff. But then when we went outside to play with all the neighborhood kids, you can see in that picture, she's got her hand on my shoulder, like saying, "Oh yeah, he's with me," trying to show off to all the kids. I couldn't believe how much my time was appreciated there. I went to an orphanage out there and gave out a lot of candy and spent a lot of time there, and I couldn't believe how much my time was appreciated by the children and everybody. It was just amazing. So I was really shocked about that. I didn't think my time, my presence was going to be so valued, to the kids and to the people and everything. So that was amazing in itself. But the people, the food, the whole experience, the Himalayas, everything was just so perfect in Nepal. So I recommend you go someday. But Sticky Rice Boy signing out again.